there, welcome to my channel. My name is Mary. In case you're new here and you do not know who I am, on today's video, I feel like it is a disservice if I do not do a review to this movie. I know I haven't done so many reviews on the channel, and the last one I did was Blood Sisters, if I remember correctly. And so I have just seen Gangs of Lagos, and I had to give it a second watch. So I saw it last week. Today is I think the 16th. Today is Sunday, the 16th of April. So I saw it last week, a couple of days after it was released on Amazon Prime, and then I decided that for me to be able to do a review, I have to see the movie again, so I get a better perspective to what the story is and everything that I have to do, everything that I have to know for me to be able to do this review. So this is a review for Gangs of Lagos. If you haven't seen it, you definitely should see it. If you're not convinced, maybe when you're done listening to my review of the movie, you'll be spoiled to go see it. And disclaimer, I am not a professional film critic or whatever. I am just someone who is interested in Nigerian film industry. As you know, if you've been following my journey, I am trying to be an actress as well, and I've done a movie. I've done a couple of things here and there, and so yeah, I feel like I just have to review this movie. It's one of those things that just push you and be like, oh no, you have to say something. I mean, I might as well have just said something over my WhatsApp status, but I decided that, you know what, I'm a content creator, so why not put it on the channel? So that is why this video uh is here. That is why you're here. Okay, enough about talking too much about myself or the reason for this video. Let's go straight into the review. So I decided that I was going to take on the characters first of all, and then I think in between, when I'm talking about the character, I can talk about the movie. Or I think I should give you a rundown of what the movie is about if you haven't seen it yet. So obviously, like the name implies, Gangs of Lagos is about different gangs and the underworld of Lagos, as it especially as it pertains to politics, like everything that goes down underneath what happens in Lagos. So it starts off the story is being told by a young guy called Obalola. He's the last character that I would like to review in this review because he's the star of the movie. He's the main cast of the movie. So he's the one who narrates the film from start to end. And he's played by Toby, your big brother. I mean, he has transcended the big brother buzz. He's a full-blown artist by himself right now. He's such a good actor. Anyway, let me not jump. I'll go to him later. So it's about that movie. It's about a group of young people who were born in underprivileged society in somewhere called Isaliko. Isaliko is like the it could be referred to as the heartbeat of indigenous Lagos. So the people from Isaliko believe that they are the founding fathers of Lagos. So again, I actually have a video from Isaleko where I did a tour of Isaleko some years back, 2 years ago or thereabout, and I got to meet the chiefs, the founding families of the local government. Isaleko is actually a local government. So I met them. They told me about the history. They told us about the history because I was not alone. They told us about the history of Isaleko and all of that. It was a really fun video. I had fun that day, and yeah. Incidentally, again, I served in Isaleko local government during my NYSC, so I feel like I have some ties with that place. And so yeah, the film is about it's about young people who were born in, or some children who were born in an underprivileged um, world, and they were born to gang members. So like their fathers were part of the gang of the underworld of Lagos, and it just basically tells us how things are run from there. Of course, it's a fictitious story. It's not real. It's not a true representation of what things are. It's just a story. Like most movies, it's just a story. It's not like everything is 100% reality. That's not what it is. It's just the story of things. It's just the fiction of someone's imagination. but it is set in Isaleko. And yeah, so it follows their lives. It tells the story of how if you're born into crime, you are it's very difficult for you to break free. It's very difficult for you to be able to escape it, no matter how much willpower you think that you have or your parents have, or think that they are able to shield you from the world. It's very difficult for you to be able to break free if you were born into that world. It also tells the story of how the elite, the political elite, use they call them eruku. They use the young people for eruku, whereas they make sure that their own children are um having the best options at life. Their children are studying abroad, whereas they use the street children to do political thuggery and all of that. Interestingly, there was a rival candidate who was referred to as the underdog. It was played by this is funny because it was played by Toyin Aimakun. If I'm not mistaken, I hope I've not mixed up her surname, but yes, it was played by her. So she was the rival political candidate for governorship in Lagos State. And it's funny if you're used to if you're familiar with what has been going on in the political space in Lagos and in Nigeria recently. So yeah, that's what the story is about. So now I'm going to start with the character Kazeem. Kazeem was played by someone who I'm actually very familiar with. So the first time that I saw him in production was in an Africa Magic original series called Rihanna. So he did act very well. Again, if you've been depriving yourself of experiencing the magic that is Africa Magic original series, man, you are missing. Those people are making like the best productions that can come out of Nigeria. The stories are top notch. If you haven't seen Rihanna, you haven't seen my love for it, like my initiation into Africa Magic original series was with Hush, and after Hush they've done so many and they are so good. Of course, you cannot be 100%. You cannot be 100%. There's some loopholes here and there, but then the stories are magic. The actors always deliver, and you should be immersed in it. So Kazeem first acted as a character in Rihanna. That's where I knew him from at first, before Gangs of Lagos now. So Kazeem is one of the thug leaders who happens to grow by killing his opponents. He grows to become the person who is in line to become governor. And then he has a daughter. He sends his daughter abroad. She goes to America and stays for 10 whole years, and she's studying. And whereas her mates who happen to be Ify, Obalola, who is the main character of the movie, they remain within Isaleko and continue to do the dirty jobs, whereas she's abroad. So she comes back, and he appoints Obalola to take care of Tenney. Her name was Tenney in the movie. Kazeem appoints Obalola to take care of Tenney, be her driver, be her bodyguard, which of course it brings you to the reality that, look, these people, just like how Tenney said when they were kids, they really do not care about you. They just want to use you for their own selfish gains. So her father turned out to be that kind of person. Imagine that he sent his own child abroad all the while, and then even when she came back, he gave her a life of paradise, and then appointed her own mate, somebody who even had a crush on her when they were children, to become her bodyguard and her driver. So now I'll talk about the young actors. So there were children that represented the acts when they were young. They did so well. And like again, most of this particular movie, most of it is acted in Yoruba, which I actually appreciate, but it's subtitled, so you wouldn't have a problem understanding what it is they're saying. But it's really good. You could see and then because so there was a character called Ify. He's Igbo originally, so he doesn't exactly understand Yoruba. So they infused it that he was an Igbo child, and in the movie they're referring to him as Omo Igbo, like Igbo boy, Igbo child. I feel like I'm all over the place. But yeah, the young acts did very well. The young children who acted in the movie did very well. I give it to them. If you're looking for a child act, you know where to look. So that's that about Kazim. Tenny, I have followed Tenny's journey from when she was when she was like me, when she was trying to get into the industry. So Tenny acted in Hush. I'd referred to Hush before as an original African Magic series. Tenny acted in Hush, and Tenny was just an office assistant. Hush had like RMD in it back in the day. That was about like 2015. I think it was shot in 2015. And this is her now. Every time I see something from Tenny, Tenny was acted by what's her name? How can I forget? I'm going to put the name. I can't believe that I've forgotten. It has skipped my mind at this minute. But every time I see something that she has done, she does the therapy session on YouTube. If you've ever come across it, just type it therapy section. She does that. She's really good. Every time I see something from her, I'm so proud. Like she doesn't even know me, but I'm proud of her journey. She has grown, and she's actually very hardworking. Like she puts in the effort, and I'm seeing the results. So I'm very proud of her. She acted so well, and then her character was delusional. So she had all of the opportunities that Ify, Gift, and Obalola were hoping for, a chance to flee the life of crime. But all of that was not her business. She wanted to come back. She wanted to come back to Lagos. She wanted to come back to Isaleko and take her rightful position. She said her father didn't go to school, and her father is going to someday become the governor of the state. So all of this school she's going to doesn't mean anything. Her character reminds me of someone on social media space who said, um, um, I can't even make the accents, but she was like, you're gonna tell me what you're not gonna tell me who I'm not gonna support. Nah, 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 nah. When you all were campaigning for who you want, I didn't say nothing. I didn't say nada. So why do you want to come and say shit to me? Don't say shit to me. If you know, you know. This is the point where I say, if you know, you know. I'm sure I was terrible at the mimic, but that's what her character reminds me of that person. And then anyway, she finally realizes her privilege, and then she feels sorry for Abalola at some point in the movie. So she was delusional. She didn't understand the privilege that she had to be able to escape the life of crime, to live away from everything that the other children only knew. She didn't understand it. So now I'll take you back at the beginning of the movie. One of the thugs had adopted Obalola, Gift, and Ify to be his children. Their parents were late, remember? And the rival Kazeem killed him. And then he claimed that he became the father to them Obalola, whereas he just wanted to use them. So that's that about them Tenny. Now Ify is played by Chike. Chike is one of my best acts. I used to clown around and say that he's going to sing at my wedding. He's such a good musician. He's an all round artist, just like Fowles. So he acts well, he sings well. And I first encountered Ify as an actor in Battleground. Mayowa was like, he was such a good act. If you haven't seen Battleground, it's also an African Magic original series. You should see it. That's the first time that I saw Chike acting, and he did very well. And in this film, he delivered as well. I think I need to stop here to appreciate everyone who acted in this film, and especially the people who worked behind the scene as well. They did such an amazing job. I'm telling you guys, this is a top-notch production. If you haven't seen it, you definitely should see it. So if he was acted by Chike, he was a scary cat. He was just rolling with the bad guys, but he didn't have the liver. Eventually, they kill him, which is one of the most heartbreaking parts of this film. Like, I actually felt it, because that is what happens in the life of crime. Your life is not assured. I mean, I know that all of us, nobody is assured of tomorrow, but then your life is in a constant risk if you're in that life. So he was caught up in the line of duty. It was inevitable he was going to die. So he died. He was killed, which is what spurred the revenge that Obalola and Gift and the rest of the gang took over. And then there's Blessing. Blessing is a new act. I hadn't seen her before. So she was baby mama to Ify, and she was so good. she blended in so well. I would look out for her for future projects. She did very well. She had a child for Ify, and that's how she came into the picture. And then she joined the gang, and that's the rest of the story. Gift. Gift is a very, like, all of us know her. You know how much I love her. Gift was played by Adesua. She blended in so well. Adesua is like, she doesn't overact. I really, really like the way that she does deliver her lines and her role. She did very well in this movie. So she was friends with Obalola and Ify. They were childhood friends, and Tenney as well. But of course, Tenney was more privileged than they were because her dad was still alive. So she was sort of not very, very much in the clique. But Gift is one of their childhood friends who grows up and is still in the life of crime with them, and they all have the dream to one day escape the life of crime. Mommy Ify was acted by Choma, and she's so good. So she spoke Igbo in the movie. She was very committed to the act. Anyway, that's that about that. Of course, you know that Choma is a good actor, and she did deliver. Mommy Obalola was played by this is funny that I can't remember her name. She's very famous. She's very popular. I'll put the name on the screen when I'm editing. You guys, you need to forgive me. My brain is freezing. She gave such an emotional performance, especially when she came back to pick Obalola from his foster dad's home, and Obalola refused to go with him. It was such a heartbreaking time for me. So she was. This brings me to say this. One of my culture shocks when I first moved to Lagos was how rampant, how very common it was to find white garment church goers or church worshippers. I don't know how to put it, but there are a lot of white garment churches in Lagos, and it was so common. I remember when I was growing up in the south. I grew up in Calabar. I used to be scared of people that went to Olumba, which is weird. But I used to be scared. We used to hear some kind of silly stories and all of that. So I used to be very scared. And it was not so common for you to find people who conveniently went to that church. So when I went to Lagos, it was like everywhere. And I'm like, this are like, it was not like it was even like different people or whatnot. It's the regular people that are seen every day. But they're going to white garment churches. So anyway, Mommy Obalola was going to that church. So there was a premonition. What's the word? There was a there was a telling on his life when he was born that he was going to follow in the footsteps of his dad, and he was going to die in the life of crime. So his mom always took him for cleansing, and then they beat him so much, and it was like what's the word? I can't remember what the word is now, but they were always trying to rid him of the spirit. So she believed it was a spiritual problem, and it was with the spiritual. It was in the spiritual realm that she would be able to free him from the curse. Eventually, he runs away because the beatings become too much, and that's how he ends up with his foster father, Folarin. Is that his name? That's how he ends up with his foster father, and continues in the life of crime. She did very well. She did so well. I felt every bit of her acting. Now to Obalola. Obalola was played by Toby. I've actually always known that Toby was a good actor because I've seen him in something before, and I liked him. Now I feel like I'm going to emphasize more about his acting in this review because his acting is not very loud. He embodies the character. So he was just being himself. He was, even when he has to react with anger, it was very natural. It came so pure to him. It was cool. It was interesting to look at. It was interesting to watch. And you could see that this person, like the character, had, like, he was living in pain. He wanted out of this life. But he didn't have so many choices. He was, I can't explain it. Toby did so well, you guys. If you haven't seen the movie, when you see it, you're going to see what I'm talking about. If you have seen the movie, you will agree with me that Toby did so well. He carried the character. He was not extra. He was not extra. He was not overacting. He was not underacting. He was just the right proportion. And so the character of Toby is one who, he's the one who narrates the film. he ends up he finds out that the people that he's working for, which is Kazeem now, Kazeem is the one who killed Ify, and that really hurt him. And according to him, he said that night was the night where he gave up, and he said that there's no turning back. He has to revenge. He has to avenge the death of his friend. So in the process of doing that, he realizes he comes to learn that Kazeem is the one who killed his foster father for some fucking reason. I cannot remember his father's name. But Kazeem is the one who kills his foster father. Kazeem is also the one who kills his own father, his biological father, when he was a child. Kazeem is the one who has been the architect of everything that has befallen him since he was a child up till now that he's a grown-up. So Kazeem does not even want his growth or his prosperity. And then he goes back to revenge, and eventually he ends Kazeem's life. But at the end of it, his daughter, who becomes his daughter, like Kazeem's daughter Tenney, who is his love interest, sees that it was him and Gibbs who killed her father. And I feel like that is a sign that there's going to be a part 2 of this movie. Because she's interested in the life of crime, she might become she might form her own gang and want to retaliate, and that will be the part 2 of the movie. So one quote which everybody likes from the movie was by Obalola, and he says, you can only lead the people with fear for so long. One day their eyes will open to the power that they have, and there will be no hiding place for the wicked, which is the true representation of what Nigerian politics is. We as a people are scared because we have been ruled with fear for so long that we do not know how much power that we have. I mean, if you've been exposed to Nigerian politics lately, and you see this movie, it's going to evoke something in you, because it sort of paints the true position of what it is and how intimidated the common man is. And something that I like to mention is Eniola, the lady who Obalola and Ify snatched her bag when they were children. I don't understand when this movie was shot. I have a different memory of what she looks like now, so I don't know if she wore a body double or a bodysuit when she was acting that movie. I don't know. You guys, if you know, let me know in the comment section. And overall, I would give this film 9.5, because it was not. I mean, it was so good that you need to watch it. But then there's some things that I picked. First of all, I'm not in the movie, so it's not complete. And then secondly, so there was a time when Kazeem sent Gift and Terrible to go execute something, and she was wearing one dress. She was wearing a different outfit. But when they went to I don't know if it's the port, because there were a lot of containers. When she went there to give the policeman the bribe, she was wearing a different outfit. And when they came back, she was wearing what she was wearing in the beginning when she was driving to the place. So I don't know what that is about. And also when Kazeem was killed, I think they went forward and went backward again, because the blood that they showed from the previous scene was a lot, and then when they zoomed out from the drone shots, it was little again. So just little inconsistencies. So that's why it's not a full 10. It's just 9.5/10. One person that I must commend in this review is Abisoye. Abisoye is the one who was in charge of. She was the head of department of VFX, of special effects. So all of the blood, I'm sure that in all the Nigerian movies that I have seen, all the Nollywood movies I have seen, this is the realest. You guys don't lie. This is the realest. The blood was like, it looked like blood. All of those scenes where they injured people, they cut people's intestine, they did this and they did that. She was the head of department of all of that. You guys give it up for Bisoye. She did so well. And then the cinematography on this film was mad. I can't even overemphasize it. It was mad. They did so well. The editors did well. The director, the producer, all of the people who worked behind the scene. You guys, kudos to you. keep giving us this content. Keep feeding us. We are going to always be loyal. We'll continue to watch your content. You guys did so well. Um eh Now I'm skeptical about buying beef, because what is all the slaughtering that was happening in slaughterhouses? And Kazeem kept referring to himself as the son of a slaughter man. How did he put it? Like, I don't know which one is real beef and which one is human meat. The way that they were slaughtering people up and down in slaughterhouses, you guys, please, ejo, please. You should not give us human meat to eat. Anyway, that's that about Gangs of Lagos. You should see it. Is on Amazon Prime if you haven't seen it. And if you've already seen it, drop your comment and tell me what was your best part in the movie, or who was your best act. I think my best act easily is Obalola. He's shorn in this movie. I don't know who your best character is. Let me know in the comment section. And if I have misyanned in this video, let me know in the comment section as well. If you like my review, if you like to see more movie reviews, tell me what movie you want me to review, and I will do my best to review it in the comment section. So you guys, thank you for watching. That's that about Gangs of Lagos. I hope that this video is not too long and it's engaging enough. Subscribe if you haven't, and catch up on my other contents, mostly travel. And I really appreciate it if you drop a comment. Goodbye.